was a rumble in the jungle once. I heard Dad was outside again counting birds, and Mama plugged in a nightlight, and I saw the queen of the world.
Welcome to the Golden Hour Birth Podcast. I am your co-host Liz.
And I'm your co-host Natalie.
And today we're recording during the day for the first time. And we're recording for the first time in like 6 weeks because we are recording Natalie's birth story of baby number 2.
Finally, she's here and out of my body.
And she's actually here.
Yes.
In the studio.
So, yeah, she's our little golden girl. We got our third golden girl.
Yeah.
And the other one's at school.
Yeah.
Sweet Viv.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that pregnancy felt like 2 years. And I'm so happy it's over.
It did. I mean, it was the whole time we were recording.
Yes.
We recorded one episode.
And then I got pregnant.
And then you got pregnant.
Yes. And I got to enjoy one of Jason's cocktails. And then I've had to be sober the whole time since. So,
yes.
Jason, I'm ready for this.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be a long one.
Yeah.
Probably going to be a doozy.
Can't wait to hear it. I've heard the short version, but
yeah, focusing a lot on like pregnancy and postpartum. The birth was very short. So yeah, I kind of ended Wesley's with, I got off birth control in July of 2021 and just started kind of like tracking my period. And we used protection like that. Slowly went out the window. And probably like by like March of 2022, I was like, I'm itching for another baby. But we decided to wait until July because I was in 2 weddings upcoming and can't be sober for weddings. So we were like, okay, let's plan for July of 2022 to have another baby. And then it was May. Well, my girlfriend had her wedding May 7th and definitely got pregnant that weekend. Yeah. My like last period was like the week of Wesley's first birthday. And then the next weekend was my girlfriend's wedding. Shout out to Shannon and Steve. Definitely got pregnant that weekend. And then it was May 22nd. I remember I woke up. It was a Sunday morning and I was like, okay, it's, 6 a.m. My period's not here. It's usually like I wake up for my period. Or it was May 19th. Sorry. I like decided, okay, my period's in 3-ish days. I'm going to take a test. I just have those like strips that you gave me. And it was negative. I'm like, yeah, that's to be expected. And then May 22nd, I woke up and I was like, okay, well, my period's not here. I'm going to take another test. Sure enough, it was positive. And I was like shaking so hard. I heard Wes wake up. So I grabbed him. He was like newly 1. It's like 13 months. Grabbed him. I put the test in his hand and I went into our bedroom and I was like, hey, Sam, Wes has some big news. He's going to be a big brother. And Sam just shot up. He was bright-eyed. He's, what? He's like, are you kidding me? And I'm just like, nope. And another positive test. I think he went like limp. I don't even know. He was just like totally out of it. And he ended up going to work a little bit that day. And I was just like, I don't think he's excited. I don't know if he was like prepared for me to tell him. I don't know.
That's a like, I don't want to say rude awakening, but
it was a rude awakening. Like, I should have planned it
big
a little bit better
for someone who's asleep. And, these boys are deep sleepers.
Yeah. Yeah. He was, I don't even know.
He was probably in shock, though.
Yeah, like a deer in headlights. But granted, he did tell me, like, you woke me up with the news. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I hear ya. I get that. But as time went on, I mean, I could feel that he was like a little nervous for this one. And I kind of was like pushing on him a little bit. Why are you not excited? And I just need time to process. Like, we're adding another child. I'm like, okay, I get it. And like 3 days later was our anniversary. And that's when he started like feeling excited and like ready to tell people. And so we went to his mom's house and she's like, do you want a glass of wine? And I'm like, I actually can't have one or for the next 9 months. And she's what? And then I wrote my dad a thank you letter from Wesley. And I was like, P.S. I'm going to be a big brother. He was so excited because my older brother was adding a baby a month before us. So we've had 2 babies in our family being added.
It's fun.
So yeah, from then on, I was feeling just like pretty nauseous, which I didn't really experience the first time. I'm going to preface this and probably say I'm going to compare a lot from like hers to Wesley's birth.
As you do.
Yeah, just because, that's all I know. And so, yeah, I was just feeling very nauseous from the beginning on up until second trimester day hit. And then it was kind of a change. But I had my 8-week confirmation appointment on June 22nd and everything looked great. And then on June 24th, Roe v. Wade happened. And I remember just, oh my God, just so much worry from then on. I felt like I was having a lot of prenatal anxiety and depression. Sure enough, I was like going into a deep depression. I mean, not deep, I guess, but we were going to Florida at the June 29th. I think we were like leaving for Florida for my cousin's wedding that I was in. And I was in bed all day one day and like just crying. I think I might even cry just like thinking about it because I was just like down in the dumps. My brother was in town and he was just like, Sam, like, I've never seen Natalie like this. Like, you need to go check on her. I don't even know why. Sam came in and I was just like, please leave me alone. I don't want to talk to people. Oh my God. This is bringing up a lot. He ended up calling my best friend Jessie over and was like, can you please talk to her? And then, oh my God. Yay. 6-week postpartum.
Yeah. Take a minute if you
Yeah.
need.
He ended up calling my best friend Jessie over at 9 o'clock, which I don't know, like that doesn't happen a lot anymore with friendships. I just feel like we're all like in our own world. And so just having her support and coming over at 9 p.m. on a Sunday, it was like probably the most like love I felt from, a friend, like an adult friend. Like it's hard to find that these days, like you and my sister, family. And I know you guys would do that. So it just felt like really good. But we ended up just like talking in bed for an hour and I just like cried and cried. And I don't know if it was like the upcoming trip. I was having like just some struggles with a relationship in my life. And yeah, I don't know, like pregnancy. It was just like everything. And eating, I was so nauseous. I remember I ate a full pizza that day and I cried because I was still hungry. And I felt like bad that I ate a whole pizza by myself.
A whole?
I don't even know. It was up. Like, why do I have to feel bad about eating a full pizza?
Yeah.
But then I was starving still. And like, I struggled with that, I think, throughout the whole full first trimester of just, I'm not satisfied. I'm not eating anything good. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah. The hormones going on.
Yeah. I was not my best.
Yeah. Well, it was a hard time too because of Roe v. Wade. I remember you coming over and us talking about it. And we even recorded a episode about it. And you could just hear the anger and sadness that we felt.
Yeah.
Especially having a girl.
Yeah. Like, what's her future going to look like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was rough.
And I had a feeling it was a girl with just how nauseous I was. And I just didn't experience that with Wes. So, yeah, it was a hard time. My first trimester was a hard time. It was a doozy. And I just didn't experience that the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with how I was feeling physically to just a lot of anxiety and depression. Yeah. And I went to a doctor when I got back from Florida. And they did prescribe me some medication. And I just never took it because I was also experiencing a lot of thyroid issues. So I started seeing like a specialist, an endocrinologist. And sure enough, my thyroid was way off. Again, my thyroid looked perfect with Wesley's pregnancy. So this one was way off. Everything was so off. So I had to increase my dose 3 or 4 times. So my thyroid did get under control. And I think that helped a ton.
Yeah.
And then when we got back from Florida, I took the test, the NIP test. Or, like the genetic test, whatever it's called. And I sent the results to my best friend, Jessie. And she ended up like planning a little surprise for us with her husband and So our dog Ruby ran out with pink balloons on her, and we knew it was a girl. We were so excited. So that was really fun. That was a little exciting part.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you went back to your OB instead of the
did.
midwives.
I did.
What was your reasoning for that?
Yeah. So after Wes, I knew I was going to have an epidural from then on. I was like, give me the drugs. So I just decided to go with her. I started seeing her when I was 18, and I always really liked her.
Yeah.
And I just knew, okay, like my pregnancy with Wes went so well. I knew I was going to get an epidural. So I think I just went with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know if there was any other reason besides the epidural.
Yeah.
Because the midwives are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's all I really have for that.
That's a good reason.
Yeah. And it's funny to be drinking coffee on this one.
Yeah.
Usually I'm
today.
drinking like, water or wine. Well,
Yeah.
not wine lately, but hopefully soon. Okay. What happened? So pretty much after week 14, my nausea completely stopped, which I was pretty great with. Yeah. Food was just blah. And then, sorry, I'm like thinking, I don't think much else really happened my second trimester. It was pretty easy breezy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah. I remember your mood was a lot different.
Better.
Yeah.
Things calmed
You were
down a little
happy
bit.
and you were out doing stuff and
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, that's funny. I don't think we've ever really talked about that.
Yeah.
If you notice something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we also use our time to like vent.
Yeah.
So,
True. You probably heard the worst of it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it was also the summer, right? So we were doing a lot more outside stuff.
Yeah.
Like we were over at Jerry's and
Yeah.
playing in the backyard and stuff. And
Yeah.
I think outdoor time helps too.
Yeah. My nausea also happened a lot during the nighttime. So I remember one time Sam called me at 5 p.m. or I like just put Wesley to bed. So it was like 6 or 7, whatever. And he called me. He's, hey, I'm headed home. And I'm like, okay. He's like, oh, are you nauseous? I'm like, I'm going to hang up now because I feel like I'm going to throw up if I don't. I never threw up. I was just, so nauseous. Girlfriend. She's totally cool with it. So yeah, second trimester, I don't know, pretty much same old. I remember I hit 20 weeks on September 12th. And then because I like took off a whole day and had so many appointments that day. So we had our anatomy scan on the 12th of September and everything looked really good. They were just like, she does have, or we couldn't get some pictures of her, but she was just like in weird places. So I wasn't worried or anything. They said everything looked good. And then I remember I first felt her kick on my niece's birthday, which is September 14th. And I was like, oh my God, Jenna's birthday. Because the first day I felt Wesley was on Vivian's birthday. Like birthday.
Oh.
I know. So it's kind of cool. Like felt these babies on their, on my niece's birthdays. And we went out to dinner and I like remember feeling her and I was just like, oh my God, like I miss these. These are so reassuring. And then I didn't feel her for another week and a half. And after that, I was like, I texted my girlfriend, Jessie, you're coming up a lot in here. I was like, is it normal to not feel kicks for a full week? And she's, well, after you feel them, like they're usually pretty consistent. It wouldn't hurt to just call your OB. We're never mad to do a check. And so I would go in. I remember like I did go in that day and I was like, just find a heartbeat, please. And they did. Sure enough. It's just my anxiety getting the best of me. And that happened probably like once or twice more. I can't remember. Just needing to like go in and get a heartbeat or something. And then even during the end, I remember I don't remember when it was, but we were watching a movie one night and I had the full dinner. And then I was just like, I haven't felt her I don't even remember. I don't even think I've felt her all day. And just freaking out. And then I remember I told Sam and I'm like, I'm not feeling her. I want to go drink a glass of ice cold water. If I don't feel her, I'm going to go to the hospital. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, she started moving after that.
Yeah.
It was just like weird tricks that I had to do, lean on the sides, things like that. Because I would really get in my head.
Yeah. Or like a sugary drink.
Yeah.
That always helped me.
Yeah. Those kicks, like, you really need them, especially when you just can't see anything.
Yeah.
And again, just the whole Roe v. Wade, I was just in my mind, if something happened, what happens to me?
Right.
And her, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. Because we're in Missouri.
Yeah.
Where they hate women. Oh.
So 3rd trimester came on December 21st. I had my last growth scan from my hypothyroid condition. They checked me at 28 and then 34 weeks just to make sure she was growing good. And they found out the baby was breached. And I went into pure panic. I was crying when the tech told me she was breached. And the doctor came in and I just lost it. And they're just like, there's still time. There looks like she has good fluid around her that she could flip. She also mentioned this word moxibustion, which I never heard about. And she said, you can try things, but it didn't seem like there was much hope. And I went into panic mode. I texted you. I texted my sister. I texted my doula, Emma, that I had with Wes.
That's what I was like, text Emma.
Yeah, you told me. I texted Jesse.
Yeah.
I literally sat in the parking lot and cried.
Oh.
And I was alone. Sam had to work. And I just went down a rabbit hole. I don't know. I was just like, I'm going to have to have a C-section. So Emma ended up calling me like right away and was like giving me all of these pointers. Shout out to Emma. Amazing. So she's like, acupuncture. Here's some exercises you can do, and the chiropractor. And so on December 27th, I had my first acupuncture appointment. Sam loved acupuncture.
Yeah.
I never got into it. He told me to go when I had really bad allergies in like 2020.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
There's so many things. I went when my milk supply was low.
Oh.
Yeah. And they were like, it, might help, but it didn't.
Incredible.
I never was really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the guy who runs community acupuncture, amazing people. His name is Toby. And I walked in and I'm like, hey, I'm 34 weeks. Maybe I was like 35 at that point.
I thought he was a trash man.
Oh, 30. I think I was 35 weeks at that point. I'm like, so my baby's breached. And he's like, okay, we got this. And then there was like a receptionist lady. And she's like, I don't know what it is, but people come here all the time and we flip those babies like it's no problem. I'm like, okay, thank you guys. And I sat down and he put like 6 needles in me, 2 on my hand, 2 on my knees, 2 on my pinky toes. And I felt the biggest movements from her ever. She was trying to like crawl into a different position.
That's so weird.
I wish I could explain what it felt like inside of me. And I'm like, God, the movements were huge. It was so cool. But they were just so amazing. They're like, it's no problem. We're going to flip this baby. And I was like, cool. And then he gave me a moxibustion stick. So it's mogwort. Don't even ask me what it is. But you light it and like kind of like make it smoke.
Like incense or something?
Yeah. It looked like I was handling a joint, to be honest. But you let it burn on the outside of your pinky toe for 10 minutes. And
you smoke, or you put the burning part?
You burn it where it kind of like smokes a little bit, and then you just put it on the outside of your pinky toe for 10 minutes on each side. And supposed to help flip the baby. I don't know. It was so weird and cool. So I was doing that every night.
Yeah.
Because that's like the one thing that the doctor told me too.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, the doctor and people are saying it.
Yeah.
Then it's got to be good.
Yeah. I mean, acupuncture and Chinese, medicine, it's so old. Like, it's ancient.
Yeah.
Got to be a reason why they keep doing it.
I know. It's so cool.
Yeah.
My experience with acupuncture is very little, I guess. But I remember even like back in the day, like when I was in college, watching Sex and the City, and Charlotte does it to try to get pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what? Being like floored. And then, my husband getting so into it.
Yeah.
I'm like totally a believer now. So cool. I ended up going back 2 more times after that. And the second time I felt big movements. And then the third time she just slept while I slept. I did the chiropractor one day too. And she was really hopeful for me too. I mean, we've created a really good relationship now. I remember I cried to her a few times because I was like, I haven't felt the baby move today. And she's, don't worry, let's see what we can do. And she's amazing. Hopefully we'll have her on soon. Dr. Ruddle. Love her. And she also gave me like all these names of therapists. She's, please tell me you like have support. I'm trying to find one, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
She's just amazing. Love her. So then I did a lot of exercises as well, like spinning babies exercises. So, every night Sam and I would be watching TV for the 2 hours after Wes went to bed. And I would just have my feet above my head, just normal positioning. Supposed to help flip the baby. And I did try to prepare myself as best I could for a C-section because I knew that I wasn't going to try to. Well, first of all, in a hospital setting, you can't have a breech delivery anymore. I don't think it's like allowed. And so I was trying to prepare myself for a C-section if I needed to. And every day I was like, okay, if it needs to happen, it needs to happen. I think what I was just really worried about is that I am bringing a new baby into this house. Me and Wes are, have such a good relationship. Like, he was very much like a mama's boy. Now he's more like a daddy's boy, but whatever. But I felt like we were just like so connected that this baby is going to take me away from him. And if I have a C-section, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, I can't have him sit on me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. More time being like, honey, you can't jump on me kind of thing.
You can't like lift over a certain weight.
Yeah. So I was just so worried. Like, he's going to have such a hard transition. And I remember just telling myself, like, it's going to be okay. And every day I think I got better at accepting the fact. Mm-hmm. But then I remember telling Sam one night, here is the process of how it would go. And then my anxiety just shot up again, like, of what it would look like.
Yeah.
Of the recovery and how everything would go in the hospital. Just because I've worked in the hospital, so like I knew what it was going to be, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I ended up having a doctor's appointment on January 5th. So two-ish weeks after we found out she was breached. And my doctor was like, okay, well, let's do a cervical check. I can see what I can feel. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I'm about 90% sure that she's head down. And Sam came to that one and he's, yeah. And I'm like, 90% though? I'm like, I need 100%.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and schedule another ultrasound just to make sure she's head down. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, great. And then on January 6th, that was that Friday, we went to a woman's circle and let go of 2022, trying to bring on 2023 with positive intentions. And that night I got into bed and I just felt her drop. It was so weird. I just felt her go into a different position.
Yeah. I think you texted me.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
It felt different for sure. And so then I went to the ultrasound on the 12th. I think it was like that Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And they confirmed she was head down.
Yeah.
And I was so excited. It was the best because I knew that I wanted to have another vaginal birth.
Yeah.
It went so good the first time. So
yeah,
I was really excited.
I remember seeing you, it had to have been in between that and like your belly, like one side was like her head and the other side was like her butt.
Yes.
You were like, do you think this is her head? Do you think this is her butt? Yeah, I think she's like sideways right now.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she felt very transverse for a while.
Yeah. And then, she just flipped. So.
I know. I don't know. I wonder what happened in there. Whatever happened in my belly. I look at her and I'm like, what did you do in there? How was life? I remember trying to always decipher where's her head, where's her butt. I watched YouTube videos on YouTube videos. I watched literally these like German people talk about how to feel where your baby is. Mm-hmm. And their accents are like, you know where the baby is. Like high German accents. And I'm like, what am I watching? I just wanted to get her head down so bad. So yeah, I think she was definitely transverse for a little bit. Like around Christmas or something. Yeah. So January 6th is when she dropped. January 7th is when Wesley was sick for 3 weeks straight.
Oh my God.
My due date was approaching in 22 days. I was due on like January 29th. And he got sick on the 7th. Started like throwing up. He had an ear infection. We thought it was strep throat. Took him to the doctor. The next week he was like, okay. But then that following weekend was like, or wait, January 8th or 9th. I don't know. First weekend of January, I was 36 and a half weeks pregnant. And Sam and I got the stomach flu. We both woke up on a Sunday night, 11 p.m., nauseous as hell. I started having diarrhea. He started throwing up. Then I started throwing up.
Oh my God.
We texted Sam's mom to come take Wes for the day. Thank God she could.
Yeah.
Because we were literally out of it.
You not get it?
He threw up 3 times, but we thought it was from his antibiotics that he was on from strep throat and an ear infection.
Yeah. He definitely brought norovirus to you.
100%.
Because we had it in our house a couple weeks ago. I never got it, though, which was so strange.
Yeah.
It hit Vivian at Denny's birthday party in public. And then it hit Arthur the next day, and then it hit Jason.
It's wicked. That was fun. We thought it was food poisoning because we had a meal that was 3 days post. And because we started at the exact same time.
Yeah.
It was 11 o'clock, and we're both like, oh my God. Let me just tell you, growing up 37 weeks pregnant ain't fun.
No.
My belly was like hitting the floor almost.
Oh my God.
And I'm just, okay. It was
and you
so
guys only
terrible.
have one bathroom. That's like one of the big reasons we moved into this house. So we needed 2 bathrooms.
Thankfully, we were just taking turns.
Oh my God.
Like, we never ended up in there at the same time. But Sam started throwing up, and I'm like, I'm not going in there. And then he watched me throw up in our trash can the next day.
Oh.
And I'm like, how do you do this? If you are throwing up, I will not be behind you watching. But
I can't even hear it.
Yeah. He's just, it's okay, honey.
Unless it's my kids.
Oh, man. Even Sam hated Wesley's throw up. I just, shout out to you, Samuel. I can't do it.
I was like, when Vivian was getting sick at Penny's party, like, it cleared the room. Like, Jerry was like, oh, she threw up, and then I didn't see her again. I'm like, hello. And Sam was actually the one that was helping us.
Yeah.
Like, just see, like, everybody was like, nope, not dealing with throw up.
Yeah. He said that he just went into do something mode, you know? And that's how he is with Wes, too.
Yeah.
Do something.
Yeah.
So, thank God.
It was very helpful because I was like a deer in headlights. I'm like, there's no napkins. There's no trash can. What is going on?
You like dumped down snacks in a plastic bag and we're like, here.
Oh,
Poor girl.
Not fun. Anyways.
I did not even see it. Yeah, so that was great. And the day of losing my mucus, or the day of I started throwing up, I lost my mucus plug that day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. So I lost it twice after I went to the bathroom. And I told Sam, and he was like, oh God. Like, I thought I had still had 2 more weeks to clear up work, finish work up. And then something else happened, and he just had like a really cathartic cry when we were putting Wesley to bed. It was a weird Sunday. Let's just say that. It was weird. And then, I texted my boss, like, lost my mucus plug. Wesley was here 5 days later. But 5 days passed and no baby. Nothing happened. So then the next week was Martin Luther King Day. And I took Wesley to the doctor again. And then again on the 18th. Because he had a nonstop cough. Like, when I say this kid was coughing all day, he was coughing every second of the day.
Oh my God.
For 2 or 3 days straight. And I just worked from home with him. And I was just like, I've never been like so annoyed.
That's so
but
annoying.
also what is going on with my child.
Yeah.
They ended up giving him 2 shots of antibiotics because whatever he was having was not clearing up.
Mm-hmm.
And he won't take medicine. He doesn't just do well taking medicine, which sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But that started to help. And then he wouldn't be coughing, but he would go to bed or wake up and he would just have a really big fit of a cough. Mm-hmm. Where he was almost like throwing up, like gagging himself. It was so sad. Yeah. It was so sad.
You can't do anything for a cough, really. Here,
No.
give them a spoonful of honey.
Yeah. But it really didn't
Sucks.
help that a ton. Yeah. On the 15th, the day before Martin Luther King Day, my sister was like, hey, we're coming over and we're going to paint baby girl's room.
Mm.
And I'm like, what? That was a good day. And that's when Wesley's cough started. I'll never forget that. Just going into panic mode, being like, oh my God, he's going to sleep and he's coughing. We're going to be up all night. Here we go. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, my sister came over, helped us paint her entire room. And then my dad got us a new rug. I don't know. It was just, it was a good day. And I was so thankful. My sister's, I want to make a business out of this, of what are those things called? Like before the baby comes. I don't know.
A baby shower?
Not baby showers, but baby, I don't know. Baby brunching, or I don't even know what to call it. I texted you that one time. What is it called? Like we are getting your house ready.
Oh, like nesting.
Nesting party. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
I want to create a nesting party business. I'm like, love it.
That's
Do
a good
that.
idea.
Because she would have people help people get ready and make them food. And
Yeah.
Yes.
That can be a service we offer
Yeah.
Colton girls.
I would do it. I'd help. I wanted to have one for my friend Jessie, but then I got sick the day before.
Oh.
Always getting sick. Okay. Totally thought I was like going to go into labor like every day.
Yeah.
Because
you texted me like every day.
every day I was like thinking it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Wesley was also just like being really cuddly on like Friday the 13th. And I was like, okay, he knows something's going on.
Okay.
This is going to happen here soon. And we spent one night all the way up until 8:30 p.m. just like cuddling in bed.
Aww.
We have like pictures and videos of us in bed being like, it's the last night of family of 3. And it was just so sweet. I cried so many times of just how flippin' sweet that child is. And
Aww.
I just want to bottle him up at this age forever and just place him in my heart. He's so fucking cute. Okay. Yeah. He finally started making progress with his cough and finally started feeling better. January 21st was a Saturday. I got a massage, dropped off Wes at Jerry's, and then we just had the day. And then January 22nd, I did actually call my OB's office on the 20th on that Friday. And I was like, I'm noticing my underwear are a little wet. I know it's not pee, so don't say it's pee.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Is this anything to be concerned about? She's just watch it. If you feel a good gush or like it's trickling, give us a call.
Mhm.
And then that night on the 21st, I took a shower and my underwear were wet. And I was like, okay, I think something is happening. I think my water might be broken. And then at 5 a.m. on the 22nd, I rolled over in bed and I felt like a gush.
Yeah.
And my underwear were completely soaked. And not completely soaked, but like more wet than normal.
Mhm.
And I ended up calling the hospital and they're like, let's come on in. Let's get you checked. The Tuesday before I was like 1.5 centimeters dilated. And then when I got to the hospital, they checked me and I was 3 centimeters. So I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
Good start. And I got into the triage room to confirm it was my water. And sure enough, one of my best friend's moms walked in. And I was like, oh my gosh, of course you're my nurse. I love this. And a midwife confirmed it was my water. Pretty like routine stuff. Just like they did like a swab.
Yeah.
And confirmed. And they're like, well, let's admit you. And we confirmed it was like 9 p.m. on the 21st that my water broke because you can't have your water broken for like over 48 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know the
Something.
exact thing, but I've also read a horror story I won't need to
Yeah.
share.
What you're talking about.
Yeah. So, yeah, they were like, well, let's get this party started. I was like, oh my God, we were so excited. It just felt so different too, because we were walking past the birthing center where the elevators that I got into when I was laboring with Wes so much that I was like zoned out. And it was just so funny because I was just walking with no pain, nothing. I was having like cramps here and there on and off for 2 weeks before this, but nothing ever consistent, like where I started timing them.
Yeah. I remember you texting me like, how do I know I'm in labor again?
Second
Oh.
baby, you think I know something. But I did. I felt so many cramps and stuff. Nothing ever felt normal or consistent or normal enough. I did go to Schnucks one night and I'm like, oh, like I was really cramping.
Yeah.
And then I got home, everything stopped.
Yeah.
Every night I would go to bed thinking this is the night.
Yeah.
I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night again. Nothing. It was just everything so different.
Yeah.
So yeah, they called it like augmentation labor, like not an induction, an augmentation because my water
kind of speed it up a little.
Yeah, my water did break. Premature rupture of membranes is what they call it. And they were like, do you want to try to get things started? And I was like, I've done everything I possibly could. Like dates, yoga ball, curb walking, sex. I did it all.
Yeah.
Raspberry leaf tea. I did it all.
Yeah.
I was doing everything that I knew. And sure enough, nothing ever started consistently. So I was just like, let's just do the Pitocin. Let's just start. Let's get this party started. We're already here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here for a whole week trying to get this baby out of me. Like, we're here.
Yeah.
I
We're already at 3.
Yeah. And I did tell my OB she's going to come on January 22nd. And she was like, well, perfect. I'm on call that weekend. I was like, great. And so, yeah, we started. We got there at 8 at the hospital. 10 a.m. I was admitted. 11 a.m. I started the Pitocin. My nurse was super cute and young. Her name was Molly. And sure enough, we were her first birth on her own.
Oh.
On her own. It was really cool. So I just told her, I was like nervous to start Pitocin. I didn't have to do that with my first. I've just heard, it like really kickstarts labor. I've heard good and bad things about it. And she's, yeah, I hear you. But, we'll be with you. It's pretty good. There's not many side effects, whatever, whatnot. And I was like, okay. And she had a medical assistant with her or like a medical technologist with her. And they were both just so sweet and so like accommodating and caring for me. So they started the Pitocin. It was like 1 milliliter per hour. And they're like, so do you feel anything? I'm like, no. Well, you're having a contraction. I'm like, well, that's good. I don't feel anything. And I just sat on the yoga ball. I didn't want to get in bed because I didn't want the Pitocin to get so ahead of me that couldn't get out of bed anymore. So I like did laps with it. I was like speed walking like through the halls. This one of the ladies was like, you're going to walk this baby out of me or out of you. And I'm like, that's the goal. I've been doing like mile walks for 3 days straight. Still nothing happened. And they were just like all laughing at me of just like how fast I was walking. Yeah.
And a rattling next to you.
Yeah. A little pole next to me. I was walking so fast and Sam's, can you slow down, please? I'm like, no, I have a mission. And Sam watched soccer a lot of the day. And I was just like talking on the yoga ball to all the nurses. And then another nurse came in and just kind of took over while my nurse was on lunch. And she's, okay, well, you're not feeling anything on 1. Let's bump you up to 4. I'm like, great. 4, they bumped me up. My contractions got more consistent. But I still didn't feel anything. And I was like, this is wonderful. This is great. Like, let's just keep this party going. And
did they have you on the wireless monitors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I could still go.
Nice.
But they wanted to keep the like monitor on the baby and me monitored on just to, make sure because the Pitocin and stuff. And my water was already broken. I don't know. They called my OB and they're like, can we bump it up to 8? And I'm like, let's do it. They bumped it up to 8 and contractions were started and I felt them and they were intense just as they were the first time. I didn't think that they were like ever too more intense. It felt kind of the same. My back was like tensing, but it didn't feel like it was purely back labor. And they kind of just sat with me for a while and I was just like on my yoga ball and I'm like, oh, okay, like I definitely feel these now. And then Sam went down to get a coffee and everything was totally fine when he left. And then he came back up literally 10 minutes later and I'm like, I have hypnobirthing on. I'm swaying. I'm breathing hard. And he's, what just changed? And I'm like, contractions have definitely started. These are amped up. And he's fuck. And I'm like, no negative energy, positive affirmations only. And he's like, okay, what can I do? And I'm like, just squeeze my hips. When I go into contractions, squeeze my hips. He's like, got it. So we did. And my nurse came in and just kind of hung out with us for a little bit and just watched. We're here for an epidural when you're ready. And I'm like, okay. Kind of just let time go on. Then 10 minutes later, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
let's get this thing on. So she checked me right before the anesthesiologist came in, and I was like, she said 4.5 to 5 centimeters. I'm like, okay. Same goes, did you want to be further? I'm like, of course I did.
Yes, I want to be a 10.
I want to be a 10. But whatever. You're just going to take what you get. And I was like, no worries. So they got the catheter in. They did the epidural, or vice versa, epidural, then got the catheter in. And then I don't know why, but my nurse checked me right after the epidural was in, and I was at an 8.
Oh my God.
She goes, girl, you're at an 8. And I'm like, what? And I did the peanut ball. I'm like, give me the peanut ball. Did that for 5 minutes. And then she called my OB. She's like, hey, she's at an 8. 2 minutes later, she checked me again, and I was complete.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I feel pressure. And she said, let me check you. I was a 10. Like, immediately.
That's so fast.
It's so fast. Like, not even 2 minutes. And
it's almost like you were like, okay, I have the epidural. Now I can go. Yeah.
That's kind of what happened with Wes, too. Like, I got to a 6, and then 10. I was a 10.
Yeah.
Like, I think my body just, like, needs to relax. Like, I get in my head kind of thing. Yeah. And then all these nurses just kind of walked on in, like, nonchalant. They got everything ready. They're like, when you start feeling pressure, let us know. I'm like, I'm feeling pressure. They're like, okay, just trying to hold it. Yeah. I'm like, okay, like, I don't feel like I have to.
Can you even hold it when you have an epidural in?
It wasn't.
I guess you could like not push, but
yeah, it wasn't this intense pressure where I was like, I have to push now. Where I know some people say, I was just kind of like, I'm feeling pressure there. Like, I could get ready for a bowel move.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird. My OB walks in, and then everything just started. And she's bear down, and I just did it. It's like somehow you just know how to bear down. Texted my friend that I just knew what to do. And
second baby.
Yeah. My first push, and everybody started cheering so loud. And I couldn't even finish the push. I started laughing so hard because everybody started cheering. And I was like, what's going on down there? I can't see anything. And they were like, yeah, she has a full head of black hair. And I just remember Sam's face being like, so excited. And I'm just like, what's happening? You know, it was just so funny. And they had to tell me when I was having a contraction again because I didn't know and couldn't feel anything. And yeah, sure enough, 7 minutes later, she was born at 3:51 p.m. Wesley was 3:31 a.m. So I just thought it was little cute stuff. 7 pounds, 15 ounces. And I was like, sure enough, Wesley paved the way for her to slide on out of there. It was really easy and amazing. And it just felt natural to just do that. So it was really great. Yeah. My OB like looked at the monitor and was like, 1 contraction, 2, 3. That was 7 minutes.
Like, yeah.
It was really cool. And wasn't hard. I don't know, like I have a few tears again. They just stitched me up and I didn't really feel anything. Motrin and Tylenol. We got back to mom and baby and ate a lot of chicken tenders.
Yeah.
And just hung out. Had a golden and a half hour with her. It was really great.
Yeah.
They like didn't take her off my chest at all. Just let her be. She latched right away. Yeah, it was really good. They never took her off me. So that was it was really great to have that in a hospital setting. And we did lots of skin to skin.
Put her on you right away.
Yeah. Yeah, she came right to me. They did a few things with her on my chest, but they never took her away to weigh her right away. It was like an hour and a half before anybody came in and took her. And I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
She did have some weird sounds, like nose sounds. We got to mother baby. And the next morning, they ended up getting a lot of air and then amniotic fluid out of her stomach. So I think that's like where the weird sounds were coming from.
Well, during all this too, I think you texted in the morning, and I was just like waiting all day for like more updates. And I texted your sister, and I was like, you have to text me for anything you hear. And then I think Jerry texted at one point to give us an update. And then your sister came over to our house with Wesley because she was picking something up. But that was when you had her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Katie got the text and I got the text, and we were just like, oh my God.
I know.
So exciting.
I know. It was such a cool moment. And once I got the epidural, everything happened so fast.
Yeah.
I got the epidural at 3:00. I love it. Yeah, I got the epidural at 3 and she was here even an hour later.
That's so fast. Here we go.
And yeah, I love that you and Katie had that moment together.
Yeah.
That's so funny. She said that to me too, and I was just like, yeah, ironic.
Yeah, it is.
The stand mother baby was really good. However, they did tell us never to suction her nose out. They would give us saline to put in her nose, but they said don't ever put anything up her nose.
Don't they give you that bowl? The bowl?
Yeah. But that's like more for the mouth, I think, for like amniotic fluid that comes up.
Oh, we definitely use that in the nose.
I did too.
I didn't know.
I didn't know. And so they said that, and I'm like, okay, I don't know. We went home, and everything was fine. Wesley took to her right away. It was so sweet. You know, there's videos that I'll send in my reel, but they're so sweet. It was the next Monday. It was January 30th.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday was the 31st. And I was in her room with her, and she was like in the bassinet, and then I was like on a mattress floor. And she just started to sound really nasally. There were lots of boogers up there, kind of struggling to breathe. And so I remember it was like midnight, and I started to feed her. And I was like, she looks like she's miserable.
Mm-hmm.
She sounds like she's miserable. And I called our pediatrician, like after hours hotline, and I was like, you know, putting the phone up to her mouth and her breathing. And they're like, yeah, she sounds like there's something going on. You know, it's best that you take her in.
Uh-huh.
So I woke Sam up at 12, and sure enough, he's, oh my God, like freaking out. I woke him up from like a deep sleep, and he's freaking out. And, you know, we just like don't know what to do. It's our 1 week old.
Right.
And we're taking her to the hospital.
Yeah.
What? And they got to the hospital. Actually, funny story here. I put her in her car seat, got her all strapped up. Sam's, you know, getting ready too. It's January. It's freezing out. And he's getting everything ready. And he starts walking out the door. I'm like, wait, are you going to take her? I had her like on the table in her car seat already. And he's about to walk out the door without her. He's, oh yeah, I should probably take her. So they already knew that we were coming because of the phone call. And it was like 1:30-ish a.m. and Sam calls me and he's, okay, it sounds like it's just, they suctioned her out, got a lot of boogers out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're going to discharge us.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like putting her clothes back on and just noticed that her chest was moving up and down a lot more than normal.
Yeah.
And he called the doctor in and she's like, yeah, that's some labored breathing. We're going to admit her.
Yeah.
And she came back positive for the rhinovirus, which is like just a common cold in us.
Yeah.
So classic.
At least it wasn't like RSV or
I know,
COVID
God.
thing.
Yeah. Thank God. But just a 1 week old in the hospital breaks my heart. And
Did
we
they
were
hook her up to
admitted.
the, like oxygen.
We never had to use oxygen. No, they, you know, we watched her levels all night and stuff, and she was fine. Like she never went below 93 oxygen levels, so they weren't too worried. But Sam and I were both, you know, up for the whole day, and I was going to go home from the hospital, and then she was going to stay overnight, and Sam was going to stay. But then every like move that she would make, the bean would go off on the monitor. So neither of us were sleeping. By midnight, we were literal zombies because I didn't go home. And yeah, we were just, my body was shutting down. His was shutting down. The nurse was finally like, okay, you guys should really go home and get sleep. And I was like, okay, you made it sound like that would be not a good thing.
It's not an option.
It was so weird because the day nurses were like, yeah, the night nurses would love to feed her, would love to stay up with her. That's their job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great, we can go home. But Sam was like, I'm going to say you should go home. You haven't slept all day. And I'm like, thank you. And then my motherly guilt couldn't leave her. And I ended up staying and we both tried to sleep, but neither of us could. And then the night nurse was like, you guys should really go home. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we should do that. Let's go get some sleep.
Yeah.
And we slept. I still had to get up once to pump, but whatever.
Yeah.
That was the most sleep I've gotten since that night. Yeah. We got back to the hospital the next day. And this really amazing doctor came in and told us these ways. And we're like, you can definitely suction out her nose if she needs it. And I'm like, why is there such a...
Why did they tell you that?
Exactly. Where did this gap happen? I don't know. So that was really great to hear. And she said that she was a doctor in Hawaii and had this really natural way to get boogies out. I was like, cool. But the rhinovirus lasted a good 2 weeks, like full 2 weeks, where she was snotty and I had to suction her nose out all night, every day, so many times. Yeah, it was rough.
I did it once. And you guys were sleeping.
Yes, thank you.
I was like, I'm going to try it. Sam showed me how you guys did it. And I was just like, all right.
Yeah.
We got this. And then she slept for like the 2 hours.
Good. It was, it was great. The month of January, I think we were literally at our pediatrician's office 6 times total with Wesley and her.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They know you well.
They know us well. Exactly. Following Sunday, we ended up taking her in again because I noticed that her breathing was like the pulling of the ribs was in again. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, it's best that you take her in again. And that's when my anxiety, I was crying a lot more. I cried all the way to the hospital. So that one felt weird, but she never was admitted. Thank God. They just suctioned her out again and sent us home. And then things have cleared up a lot. I haven't experienced a lot of anxiety this time around because maybe I was just looking for the signs or something, or maybe I'm just a seasoned mom again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Second time momming is a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's really all that's been up. She won't take a bottle, so that's fun. But otherwise, I've had a lot of support from you and my sister, and my aunt came in, and been a good support system. But I think that's all I have. And recently we decided to change her name. Yeah. She was 6 weeks of Josephine, and now she is Violet from here on out.
Yeah, I love that name.
I know. Why didn't we do it since the beginning? I don't know. We literally told all the nurses that day, she's Violet, she's Violet. And then she came out and we landed on Josephine. And now I'm in the process of changing her legal name to Violet. So everybody would probably know at this point when the episode comes out.
Do you have to get a new birth certificate? Or did you not order that yet? Or
I didn't order it. So I have it all filled out on paper sitting in our kitchen. And I needed to get it notarized by Sam's aunt. And I never took it to get notarized. Maybe there was like subconsciously something in me. But I have her insurance card. I have her social security card with all Josephine on it. And then this past Monday, we decided to change her name to Violet. It was just like a conversation. I even called her Violet one day after 3 weeks.
Oh,
I was like, hi, Violet. And then I was like, oh. And
your subconscious knew.
I know. It really did. And I'm like, we might be done. I don't know. We might be. I don't know. And if we're done, or if we're not done, and we have another kid, it's going to be a boy. No doubt. It's going to be a boy. And I was like, we can't like let our favorite girl's name in the world go out of here and not use it. Yeah. And so on Monday, I randomly Googled like, how easy is it to change your kid's name? And I texted Sam, like, why am I looking this up right now? And he's, oh my God. And then we had a real conversation at home and we both said that we wanted to change it. And here we are.
Yeah.
Literally never thought that this would happen, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, she's definitely a Violet.
Yeah. Can't let her name go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet girl.
So happy to introduce Violet Hope to you. Yeah.
Your world debut.
I know. I know. Yeah, but
That's awesome.
yeah, it's been a little bit harder this time around, but I know it's just a season.
Yeah.
So-
Well, 2 kids.
2 kids. Won't take the
Yeah.
bottle. Very attached to me right now. So
Yeah.
hopefully it'll just get better and better. But
Yeah. Well, you went from Wesley being sick
yeah.
to now Violet being sick, and
Mhm.
yeah, he'll get better.
Yeah. I'm so happy for spring and summer because I just never want to be inside this much again.
I
Yeah.
know. And last week it was like 70, and now
Yeah.
it's 35 again.
Me and my aunt were at TJ Maxx and I'm like, what's this weather? And a lady just goes, fake spring.
Fake spring. That's funny. Arthur and I went on a hike, and it was so nice. And then we've got St. Patrick's Day, the parade on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all supposed to be in it on a float. And I'm like, okay, it's supposed to rain and it's 40. I'm like, I'm not going if it's below like 45.
I would say no with the rain.
Yeah, and the rain. Definitely if it's raining, definitely no.
Because dang it.
Yeah.
St. Louis.
I know.
Yeah.
Always happens on St. Patrick's Day too. It's always
Hit
like
or
the
miss.
couple days before you're like, oh wow, it might be nice.
Mhm.
And then no, it's cold.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Well,
that's my story. The birth story,
Yeah.
that was a second of that whole thing.
yeah, no
Everything
kidding.
was pregnancy and postpartum.
Any tips for second time mom?
Yeah. I mean, and you think you got a whole hang on the parenting thing and then you're starting right over. And
Yeah.
it just, yeah, it feels weird. You know, me and Sam are having to go through new challenges again. A lot of things are coming up for us. So that feels hard, but I just keep trying to tell myself it's a season. My word for 2023 was presence. I want to stay more present. I do find myself hoping, come on, let's just get to 3 months where things just seem to get easier. 3 months feels like a sweet spot
Yeah.
where things are just catching on. They're not waking up so much. And I'm just trying to stay present. I remember how I always thought how magical Wesley's newborn stage was. And I'm realizing that it was very magical. And I think I wished away his time. And so I'm trying not to wish away this time.
Yeah.
So it could be the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even when you think you have it down, every child is so different. Every part of her is so different. And I think I need to stop comparing them too. I find myself comparing her a lot to Wes, and that's just not fair for her because they're 2 different children.
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. When you're like, oh, well, my first one slept through the night at this age, or they, started eating or whatever.
Mhm.
Even now that my kids are older, a little bit older, but thinking about they're talking and walking, crawling, just all that. Yeah. It's all completely different.
Yeah.
You worry about different things too.
Yes.
With the second, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, it's different.
Right now, I just don't even know when I'm going to be able to leave the house without her because she's attached to me very much so. We do spend all day together. I'm on maternity leave. Sam's not. So we spend all day together. She knows me and only wants my boobs. So I'm just I'm never going to leave the house without her again. I'm never going to get a second away. I don't know.
It'll come.
It'll come. But, and that's what I have to keep reminding myself. She's definitely not projected to sleep through the night like Wesley was.
Yeah.
He was killing it at sleep right now.
Yeah.
She's 6 weeks and he slept through the night at 8 weeks. I don't even know who he was. And I was actually at the park with some friends last week and I called her demanding. I don't like that word. I don't want to call her that.
Oh.
And so my girlfriend ended up sending me like this 5 types of newborns. And she said, maybe Wesley was your angel baby, but she's your spirited baby or something. And kind of just, they broke down the types of children. And I was like, Wesley was an angel baby. I'm not even gonna tiptoe around it. And she is my spirited baby. She knows what she wants and she'll get it.
Yeah.
Yes, she will. But yeah, everything will get better. I'm just trying to remind myself of that.
Yeah.
So I guess that's my tip, all in one. No, it was kind of a wild ride there, but yeah, that's my tip. Don't compare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself like accepting help more easily this time around?
Yes. Definitely, but also maybe not. I don't know. Yes and no. Anybody wants to make me a meal?
Yeah.
Like you did. You came over and watched her. My sister's been amazing too. Yeah, I like pinched my back last week and my sister came over and took care of me. But she was like putting Wesley to bed and then I walked in and was like, "Are you okay, my baby?" And she's, "Natalie, go take care of yourself. I have this."
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to like actually let go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a type A personality coming up a lot lately.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I've also started to ask Sam for more help, like through the night and stuff. So, yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was my biggest struggle with having a second. Coming to the realization that I can't do it all. And it's definitely come out in different ways, like accepting help, but also like knowing that I can't clean up, the toys every single night or
Exactly.
keep up on laundry or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Those days are gone.
I know. I'm just trying to like take these moments because I know that I want to go back to work and be a human again. And I just don't know if this is going to be my last baby or not. So I just guess I'm trying to take it all in too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also kind of ready for the moment where it's not so hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
That's hard. Yeah. When the days are long.
The days are long and the nights are even longer.
Yeah.
Holy crap. The nights are long.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't say I miss that, but
right? I remember like missing Wesley so much and being so sad every month that went by. He's older, and now this stage that he's in, he's almost 2. Oh my gosh.
Huh?
Yeah. He's almost 2 and I like absolutely love watching him get older. I love just everything about him and the person he's becoming and how sweet he is and empathetic and yeah. Like I never wanted him to grow up and now I love it. I love it. So
yeah,
it's weird how it's just everything's changing again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Each stage is just so fun too. I'm not a newborn stage kind of person. Like I like the snuggles, but yeah, once like the 6-month mark is like when I'm like, yeah. That's when I start. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they start having more fun too, obviously, the babies. And when they can like kind of play with stuff and but yeah.
And I know that there will be a day where her and Wes are the best of friends and he'll do anything to make her laugh.
Yeah.
I can't wait for
that. It's so fun.
Yeah. But
it's so cute.
I just remember like loving Wesley's newborn stage and it felt so easy. And I was like telling Sam, I've got this. You stay on Wesley's schedule. I'll stay with her. I know what I'm doing. I love the baby stage. You love the toddler stage. We're even. And now I'm just like, I'm regretting what I'm saying. I'm just kind of going back on my words and just really trying to rely on Sam for more help than I thought I needed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's always going to be a work in progress, probably.
Well, she's a different baby too. So.
Again, things I need to remind myself of. She's so different.
Yeah.
She's an Aquarius too. Like, I like, I'm into the zodiac signs and I just keep reminding myself she marches to the beat of her own drum.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so they're 2 different babies.
Yeah. Kitty.
Every day will get better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing your stories.
You're welcome.
It feels so nice to be back. Jason
know.
was like, you can't take that much time off. You guys are gonna like never record again. I'm like, we will. We already have people signed up, and we did a lot while you were on maternity leave too.
Mm-hmm. There's still a lot to go.
Yeah.
And 2 months from now, we're going to be hitting our 1-year mark.
I know. It's so crazy.
So fun things.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a newsletter now. Mm-hmm. So I'll put the link to that in the show notes. We'll put like some fun things coming up. We'll probably do a little like giveaway or some kind of celebration for our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll do
really
a fun
fun
giveaway.
Yeah.
And keep you guys all posted.
Yeah. So, yeah. Guess we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Yeah.
And we have a guest again. It's going to be so fun. All right. See you next week.
See ya.